Okay, this is the back door of my Coon Trap. Now basically, what you got here, just a couple of house hinges, old house hinges from some doors that I got in the past. When I used to do remodeling, they put new doors up and new stuff, and I went ahead and kept the old hinges. So that's what I had lying around, so that's what I used. But basically, you could use anything for the hinges. The door just fits up right like that, and I got a couple of bent nails, slide right in there, and she's tight as a glove. So that leaves you access to pull your coon out of here after you're done clunking them or whatever, which is what I intend to do. Okay, next on the agenda, this right here is a board. This is going to be the pivot board for catching them. These screw holes, okay, are farther towards the rear, which allows extra weight on the front end to leave it laying down flat, while this end will be up about maybe ½ an inch. What they do is these two holes just fit into these two screw holes that I got in here. I got a couple of bolts in here, and they've got some nuts up on them. And so all I do is line that up. Oh, and this right here is for a trap rod, spring rod. It's going to be catching to there. So basically, I got a couple little marks here to make it easier for me to line them up so it falls right in the holes. And see how it's got that little pivot motion? That's all it needs. You're looking at maybe 3/4 inch here and ½ an inch here. What you got here is the board's got a little warp to it, which is no big deal. All it is a Coon Trap, and that's all it needs is that little bit of weight. Now the weight, when they come in, see, when they get about 3/4 of the way, then it'll set. Now it feels very easy to move right now, but once I get my rod set up on here, which I'll get to in a second. Now let's go ahead and close that up real quick. Go on to the next thing. Nails in there. Okay, well, we got the sides. The sides of it, what I've done is one, I needed area for light to get in there, you know, to make it more comfortable for the animals. And two, I didn't want it to, this design wasn't to look pretty. This design was basically to give it a little bit of a camouflage effect. So, you know, so the animals aren't quite so spooked out by all the cut edges. Because square edges like the back corner and everything, you know, animals aren't used to that. They're used to things being a little more flowing. So that's basically what that was. I tried to keep all these holes under 2 inches in maximum width. Now, this side here is the second side I did, which basically everything's good, tight, and sturdy. You know, the whole thing, it's tight as a rock, and yet you can still get in here to stick poker rods in there or whatever you got to do to maneuver your critter before the kill, because I intend on killing them. This was the first side that I had done, and this here, you know, looks all pretty, but I thought down the road, you know, and it's sturdy right now the way I got that cut with that circle there, but I'm thinking down the road when it rains on it, it's eventually going to get real wore and weak. That's going to be a weak point. So that was why the other side I got permanent latching all the way through, where there's nothing. This here I should have just let it continue all the way over instead of having this circular node right there. Okay, let's move on to the front end. Okay, this is the front door. See how she's nice and tight shut? Okay, this was designed, this is just a stupid spring door hinge, screen door hinge with a spring in it, you know. You can make that with any old thing. Right here, holding the door shut, is a little latch that pulls up. This was actually, it's got a spring up in there. What it is it's made for bifold doors. I just got a piece of 3/4 board, and I drilled a hole in the bottom of it and put this old bifold door thing. But you know, you can make it with any old spring and any old item. This hinge here is just off of some old cabinet that I had gotten. anyhow, it's up like that, and then bam, slams shut. This spring right here slams her shut, and then I just stick my finger right down there, pull that little thing up, pull on the hinge, you know, lift it up. Now here's what we've got. Let me get my first rod here. This rod here is just another piece of I don't know if you've seen when I done my fireplace stack or whatever, but that's what that is. Just a tensioner for chain link fence. And by tensioner, what I mean is when you got a pole sitting up and the chain link fence is running off the edge of the pole, this basically you slide this rod down into all the little links on the fence. You bump it to the pole, and then they got clamps that go on there, you know, to clamp it to the pole. So that's all it is a tension rod. Just thought I'd make that clear. And okay, this here is going to go right through the top, and it should be going right like that. And I've got a hole cut in the top here, so this tension rod's going to run right down into here, and it's going to catch on that bolt I got there. Now to hold this up right now, I'm just going to use a piece of wood to hold it up out of my way. I clamp this bolt on here. I got a bolt with a nut on that little plank you saw me put in here. And you'll see it in a sec. Bolt I got's a little bit on the long side, so it takes a little bit to unscrew and screw the nut onto it. Okay, got that on there. Now this bolt up here is going to fit onto this. This is just another piece of that tension rod. I got a hole in the back here. Now I'm going to let this door down. Now you notice how that didn't close all the way? That's because there was no force behind it. But trust me, it closes. Now I got these two, I put them in there after I had this all set up. So I just start this off crooked like that and line her right up like that. And we'll pull the nut off of this bolt. Do the same thing that I done with the other one. And that will be the beginning. Just run that through there. What I want to get is some locking nuts and maybe a couple washers for this whole mess. But right now, it's all, this is basically just a prototype. This isn't, you know, going to be the finished product. But this little rod here moves back and forth like that. Now what you got here is you lift the, well, gotta unlock it first. Alright, unlock it, lift the door up, slide that back a little bit, and see the door fits securely on there. And this board here, nice and tight down. Now if I pull these two nails out of the back here, okay, I'm going to pull that door down and slowly move my hand up till I get to the point. Now what it's got is it takes more pressure to set it off right now with this rod up in here like that, see? So the animal will get farther in here because his weight won't do no weeble wobbles. It stabilizes it, so it ain't gonna freak him out and have him run out, you know. Then when he gets about 3/4 of the way or so, see how that dropped a little bit there, and bam, closes the door. That's how that works. Now let me put this hinge back up. Here's what the top of it looks like. See, that's basically what the top looks like. Got straight holes in here because I wasn't so worried about that. Just wanted the light to get in, and I wanted to be able to get something in there, you know, to knock them out with or whatever before I open this door to pull the corpse out of there, as you may want to call it. These things here was my first holes that I started. These ones here, and then I thought, well, that was sort of stupid, so I went with these straight lines through here. Thought it's easier, you know, to get tool. I'm gonna create some sort of tool spring action thumper rod, so I can. I don't want to use a BB gun. I may end up using a BB gun, but I want to try to make something else that'll knock them out, hit them in the head real quick, and knock them right out of the commission. Because I don't want them to feel a lot of pain or nothing, you know. So, but there's basically your rod right there. Just slides back and forth on this pivot hinge that we got set up here. And of course, these hinges, I tried to make that a little bit curvature there too, just so it sort of fits in with the environment a little bit better, you know. But I'll give you a more inside, closer inside view on this. Alright, we'll hook that on up like that. Okay. And pull that like that. Okay, nice and tight there, nice and tight. Tiny bit of tension, but she's still good. Boom. And that concludes the demonstration. And I'll get back to you when I catch my first coon up in here. I'm going to bolt a little tray in the back of here, right by that back door. And that way they can't reach in with their paws and pull it loose or nothing, you know. It's enough to tempt them because all these holes and stuff's going to let the smell aerate real well. So it should tempt them to try to get into it. Probably throw like a few chicken bones up in there near the back, and if they get one of them, no biggie, you know, let them chew on that and enjoy themselves.